Hi, this is Vicki with Crafting for Fun. Today I want to show you how to make a unique style of card. I call this card a Z-fold with a flip, and I'll show you why. This card opens up, but if you look at the top, you'll see that it has a zigzag or a Z-fold, and this area here in the center of the card where the medallion is, it is actually part of the base card, and it was cut so that it flips out. I don't know if you can see that. So I call it a Z card with a flip, an area that flips out. Let me show you how I made this card, or tell you what you'll need in order to make this card. In order to make this card, you'll need a piece of cardstock for your card base. This piece measures 8.5 wide by 5.5 long, and we're going to be scoring that in a moment. You'll need some pieces of contrasting cardstock, and I'm using a rust color. I have one piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. And I have a piece that is 3.5 by 3.5. And then I have two pieces of cream colored cardstock. The first one measures 4 7/8 by 3 5/8, and the second one is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and that's all I need for cardstock supplies. Now, the most essential thing that you'll need in order to make this style of card is you'll need at least one set of thin dies, or Spellbinder's nestability type dies. And you'll need, of course, some kind of a die cutting machine like the Sizzix machine or the Cuttlebug or Vagabond or one of the other embossing die cutting machines. And today I'm going to be using actually two sets. I'm going to use the Spellbinder's Nestability Standard Circles Large and the Spellbinder's Nestability Petite Scalloped Circles Large. I could get away without this scalloped circle piece, but I just liked the little bit of design detail that it gave, so I'm actually using two sets, but like I said, you need at least one set. In addition to that, you will need adhesive. You'll need a stamped image that you can use as the focal point of your card, and you'll need a sentiment stamp, and you'll need some ink. And then I used some metallic chalks to color my the little belly of my bird in, but you could use anything like markers, colored pencils, chalks, whatever you have in your stash. So let me show you how to make this card. I'm going to get my things set up, and I'll be right back. I have my scoring tools set up here. I do believe that I forgot to mention that you will also probably want to have some kind of an embossing folder to decorate the front of your card. I'm using this one that has swirly vines with leaves and little flowers on it on the front of mine. It's a Doris embossing folder, and I don't really know the name of it. So I'm going to lay my cardstock on my scoring tool so that the 8.5 inch side is at the top. And I'm going to score it in half at 4 1/4 inches. And then I'm going to score the first half of that in half again. So I'm going to score at 2 1/8 inches. Oops. There we go. And now I like to go ahead and fold my cardstock. This is very, very heavyweight cardstock. It's from a local retailer, and I don't really know what brand it is, but it is exceptionally thick and heavy cardstock. So I like to fold mine very well, and I actually fold mine in both directions because it is so heavy. This may not be necessary if you're using a lighter weight cardstock. So now I'm ready to go to my next step. So let me explain. I'm going to switch to a lighter color cardstock so you can see what I'm doing. I have my two score lines, my one that's at 2 1/8 and my one that's at 4 1/4, and I'm actually going to turn it around. And so now what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to take my Spellbinder, and for the circles, I'm going to be using not the largest, but the second largest and the third largest circle from that set. So not the largest, but the second and third circles. And from my scalloped circle, I believe I'm going to use yes, this is the third largest circle. So not the largest, the second, but the third one in. So I'm going to set that scallop aside for a moment and set the small one aside. With my large circle, I'm going to lay it on my card, and I'm going to center it from side to side roughly. It doesn't have to be exact. And I'm going to center it so that this line at 2 1/8, which is a score line on your cardstock, is in the center of this circle. And then I'm going to get my pads, my cutting pads from my Big Shot machine. I'm going to take the whole thing and I'm going to lay it on top of a first acrylic pad, and then I'm going to take a second acrylic pad and I'm going to cover it up, and I want the edge of the acrylic pad to be right on that score line that I created, just like that. And then I'm going to feed it through my machine. I do not want this half of the circle covered, so everything beyond that score line, that 2 1/8 inch score line, is going to be left uncovered, and I'm going to run it through. So what you have after you run your piece through the Sizzix Big Shot machine is you have a piece that looks like this. The embossed part is halfway cut out, but absolutely nothing is cut on the area that is beyond that 2 1/8 inch score line. So I would want to fold my card in half. And now I'm ready to begin my next step. And my next step is simply to add embossing detail to the front of the card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my embossing folder. Now if you're familiar with the embossing folders, you'll know that most of them say either Sizzix or Doris or whatever brand they are on the front of the embossing folder. And that signifies that if you put the paper in, that the side with the writing on it is usually the side that is embossed, that has the raised design. In this case, I actually want to position my folder so that the writing is on the inside of my folded card. So my card is folded and my embossing folder is on the front of my card, but the writing is on the this Doris label is on the inside, because I want the embossed or the raised image to be inside of my card, so that when I flip that first half of the card back, the embossed image will be on top. So I've got my whole thing inside there. The whole front of the card is inside the embossing folder. I'm going to take one clear plate, put my whole card on it, put another clear plate on, and run that through my Big Shot machine. And what I will end up with is a card that looks like this. Actually, it would look like this. The depressed image or debossed image is on the front, the embossed image or raised image is on the inside, and the card is folded in half. And now I'm ready to begin making my little flip. So without bending this little center circle, I'm going to fold it back at the score line so that I have my Z fold with my piece that is flipped out. Now you'll see a very faint little embossed line there, or actually it's a score line. You'll see that very faintly there, but that's mostly going to be covered up as we embellish our card. So I'm going to set my card base aside and tell you a little bit about the other pieces that we need. Now that your card base is ready to go, you'll need to bring back your 2 squares of cardstock, your cream color and rust colored squares. And you're going to want to lay those both on the acrylic cutting mat, and you're going to want to use the smaller circle and the scalloped circle. And you want the scalloped circle in rust and the smaller circle in cream. And then you're going to cover those with another acrylic cutting pad, and you're going to run them through the Big Shot machine. And you'll end up with a circle shaped piece and a scallop shaped piece. Then you're going to want to take the circle shaped piece that you have and stamp whatever stamp you want for your focal image. And in this case, I'm using the bird on a branch. And you'll stamp that on your circle. And then if you want to do things like ink the edges of the circle or add color detail, this would be the time that you would do that. And you're going to take your rust colored scalloped circle and you're going to layer that behind your stamped image so that it looks like this. Then I just turned it over and added some pop dots on the back. And I'm going to peel off the adhesive liner from that. Bring back my card base, and I'm just going to adhere that on the front of my card base, like so. Then you have only 2 pieces left. You have the liner pieces for your card. You have a rust color and a cream color. I took my cream colored card and I stamped my sentiment, sharing in your sorrows. And I'm just going to apply that in the center of my rust color piece. Now when I cut these, you'll notice that the cream color is not a standard size base layer. There is slightly larger border on these pieces. I went a little more. I went 1/8 of an inch more than the standard 1/4 inch border, just to give a wider rust colored border around this piece. like that. Then I'm going to just turn it over, apply adhesive on the back, and I'm going to put that inside of my base card. Like so. Might be a little off. Let's try that again. I find it easier to do this when I'm not trying to film. There we go. Much better. Okay, so now my card is finished. So when I add my color details, this card will be ready to go. And here's my original. If you have any questions about this project, please email me at craftingforfun@gmail.com, or if you'd like to see other craft projects, please check out my blog, craftingforfun.blogspot.com. I hope you enjoyed today's project and hope to see you back here soon.